these two cities. So they were supplied the cities. في العربي مكتوب مدينتي مخازن اللي هو فايتون ورامسيس. But طبعا يعني we see بقى الblessing the blessing God إن هو but the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were in dread of the children of Israel. So Ram and Noah, they tried Noah to subject them to a lot of hardship and a lot of work, like in Rabbana, can make them multiply more and grow more. فاستعبد المصريين بني إسرائيل gone. So the Egyptian made the children of Israel serve with rigor, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and brick and all manner of service in the field. All their service in which they made them serve was with rigor. Then the king of Egypt spoke to the Hebrew midwives, of whom the name of one was Shiphrah and the name of the other Puah. وكلم ملك مصر قبل أن يلجأ العبرانيات اللتين اسم أحدهما شفرة واسم الأخرى فوع or Puah. So why do you think you mentioned those names? I mean, they seem to be insignificant, seem to be like random.
عشان اتبعوا الوصية بتاعت ربنا ما تاكلوش من معهم.
ربنا حب كرمهم they mentioned their names in the scriptures. وهنشوف بعد كده ان they were blessed actually with another blessing. فهم دول المidwives. And he said, when you do the duties of a midwife for the Hebrew women and see them on the birth stool, if it is a son, then you shall kill him. But if it is a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared God and did not do as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the male children alive. And so the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said to them, why have you done this thing and saved the male children alive? And the midwives said to Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women, for they are lively and give birth before the midwives come to them. So in about verse 20, therefore God dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and grew very mightily. And so it was because the midwives feared God that he provided household for them. وكان إذ خافت القبيلتان الله صنع لهما بيوتا. So يعني they feared God عشان كانوا they didn't want to kill all right, so chapter 1. Then we'll go with chapter 2. Probably can start reading. We can alternate.
Number 2 عشان الصباح.
Okay. So we have 5 verses.
وذهب رجل من بيت لاوي وأخذ بنت لاوي فحبلت المرأة وولدت ابنا ولما رأته إنه حسن خبأته 3 أشهر. ولما لم يمكنها أن تخبئه بعد أخذت له سفطا من البرد وطرته بالحمر والزفت ووضعت الولد فيه ووضعته بين الحلفاء على حافة النهر. ووقفت أخته من بعيد لتعرف ماذا يفعل به. فنزلت ابنة فرعون إلى النهر لتغتسل، وكانت جواريها ماشيات على جانب النهر، ورأت الصفت بين الحلفاء فأرسلت أمتها وأخذته.
Okay, so طبعا فاروق هنا ابتدى قال يعني هو أي son just need to be killed, need to be actually في آخر verse بيقول إن هو to be thrown in the river. بس so we don't know the name بتاع اللي هو الرجل من بيت لاوي. بس anyway, so يعني هو ولدت الابن و so she hid him and then she حطيته in one of اللي هم الباسكتس وعملت بيتش. طبعا البيتش عشان البتاع ما يغرقش يعني، فطلته بالكار عشان يعني stay floating. ويعني طبعا وقتها in Nile there was a lot of like high like grass أو يعني مش grass اللي هو زي bushes أو حاجات كده جنب على البانكس بتاعت النيل. فهي حطيته يعني في وسط الحلفاء أو اللي هو زي البرد، أو يمكن الليليز اللي هي بتبقى very flat كده بتكون يعني keep things يعني go. فوقفت أخته من بعيد لتعرف ماذا يفعل به. طبعا أخته اللي هي مين؟ مريم. هي أكبر منه. وقفت من بعيد لتعرف ماذا يفعل به. And then the daughter of Pharaoh came down to bathe at the river, and her maidens walked along the riverside. They saw the ark among the reeds, so she sent a maid to get it. So yeah. Sit down.
Yeah. And when she opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the baby wept. So she had compassion on him and said, "This is one of the Hebrews' children." Then his sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and call a nurse for you from the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for you?" And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Go." So the maiden went and called the child's mother. Then Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this child away and nurse him for me, and I will give you your wages." So the woman took the child and nursed him. And the child grew, and she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. So she called him his name Moses, saying, "Because I drew him from out of the water."
Okay. So I mean, yeah. المرأة الولد وأرضعه. فلما كبر الولد جاءت به إلى ابنة فرعون. فرعون. في اللي هو الشابتر المشهور اللي هو بتاع الإيمان اللي هو شابتر 11 في هيبروز. فهنا سين بول بيعد يعني كذا مثال لأبطال الإيمان في العهد القديم. يعني قال طبعا منهم كتير. بالإيمان نوح لما أوحى عليه عن أمور لم ترى بعد خاف فبنى فلكا، وهكذا. بالإيمان إبراهيم لما دعي أطاع أن يخرج إلى المكان الذي كان عتيدا أن يأخذه من رأسه، وهكذا. بعدين بيقول في حتة إن هو
23.
اوكي. so بيقول بالإيمان بعدما ولد أخفاه أبواه 3 أشهر، لأنه موسى لما كبر أبى أن يدعى ابن فرعون. By faith, Moses, when he became of age, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather مفضلا بالأحرى أن يذل مع شعب الله أن يكون له تمتع وقتي بالخطية. حاسبا عار المسيح غنى أعظم من خزائن مصر لأنه كان ينظر إلى المجازات. طبعا هنا يعني هو reflection، لأنه طبعا ما كانش عارف المسيح وقتها ولا حاجة، لكن كان غرزت فيه إن هو في مسايا جاي، في واحد جاي، إن هو ربنا وعدهم إن هو في واحد هيخلص الشعب بتاعه. فده المعنى إن هو يعني ما اهتمش إن هو يكون ابن بنت فرعون، واللي هو طبعا if he would have stayed in the house and didn't do اللي هو يعني الانسيدنت اللي حصلت بعد كده، وكان بس خلاه في حاله ان هو يعني بقى اتمتع بكل بقى الويلث بتاع being يعني ابن بنت فرعون، كل الحشم والخدم والماني وكل ستاتس وكل الحاجات دي. يعني could have يعني stayed and be happy بكل الموضوع ده، وقال اوكي يمكن when I maybe I'll be the pharaoh after that, maybe I'll be يعني in a much higher position, maybe دلوقتي ممكن I can help my people, or even he probably can ignore them completely يعني. لكن واضح ان هو شيء يعني instilled فيه او يعني غرزت فيه التعليم الإيمان
ده سين بول مش كده؟
Yeah.
Two questions. احنا المرة اللي فاتت كنت was checking with Abuna Philippi. When did they start calling themselves Hebrews? My connection, my explanation to it, up to Moses, they were Israelites. They became Hebrew after that, the Ten Commandments and so on. That's one point. The other point, in the awaiting Christ, اللي هو St. Paul يعني ascribing it to Moses, it was mentioned before Moses.
Well, هو he's doing يعني more meditation about things. It doesn't mean إن هو حسبا عار المسيح يعني غنى أفضل. This is not in a sense mean إن هو يعني was aware يعني أو المسيح كان already gay أو كده. So it's like إن هو يعني how إن هو يعني الفيث بتاعه, because هو الشابتر كله as I said about the heroes of faith in the Old Testament. So St. Paul is showing that الفيث بتاعه that was يعني embedded فيه من هو since he was young. إن هو ده إن هو اللي خلاه he didn't care about أي hardships أو أي giving up wealth والstatus والfortune اللي هو فيها and all these different things. So الحاجات دي عشان كده بيقول يعني إن هو بالنسبة له غنى أعظم من خزائن مصر لأنه كان ينظر للمجازات. عارف يعني she instilled فيه إن في يعني life after death, إن في eternal life, إن في reward if you keep yourself holy and you follow God's commandments, then there is a reward for that. So كل ده طبعا نتيجة الفيث اللي هي she instilled it فيه, and that stayed with him and grew up with him as he growing. لأن بيقول برضو بعد كده إن هو بالإيمان ترك مصر غير خائف من غضب الملك لأنه تشدد كأنه يرى من لا يرى. دي طبعا احتمال بتكون نتيجة إن هو بعد كده هيشوف في العليقة وربنا هيكلمه وهيرسله, فدي ممكن تكون لها علاقة بالموضوع ده.
مش up to this point the whole faith they had هو إيمان إبراهيم. It was about descending from one generation to the next, just on the faith of Abraham.
الفيث ابراهام, وحتى البروميس من وقت ما ربنا قال لآدم نسل المرأة يسحق رأس الحية, فحتى من وقتها وده transcended بعد كده. وطبعا الابراهاميك covenant اللي حصل ده طبعا was even made things stronger.
I'm not sure this is a possibility. Throughout the Old Testament, Rabbi refers to the shall be Israel. He doesn't say shall be the Hebrews, and shall be straight. So maybe the identification of people get when investment must be they might have been told by the non-Christians, and women that can Jews, and that we say our people in the home Gentiles. So maybe the label of calling them.
I believe in the Hebrew was attached to Abraham from the time. If we go back.
إن بالعربي بنقول يهود, which is من صوت يهود.
لا بس هي عبراني دي حاجة ثانية. Let me okay.
الأرض اللي ربنا أعطاها لإبراهيم.
I have to see الأوريجين بتاعهم, بس I believe in هو an old description من وقت Abraham. Then I remember I read حاجة زي كده إسرائيل. I believe in كان مكتوب فيها, بس I cannot get the verse for it, but I can read it.
الأرض اللي ربنا أعطاها لإبراهيم
هو قال له الفيوتشر, he didn't but he didn't see it. He said that's like from النسل بتاعه إن هو يكون كنجوم في السماء أو كرمل الأرض. He gave him that promise and he's gonna have that multiplied a lot of
Okay, أبونا مثلا في Genesis نشوف 39 verse 14.
14.
Oh, 14, chapter 14, first verse.
Okay. Yeah, when she talked about Joseph.
14:1.
اللي 39:14. نادت أهل بيتها وقالت انظروا قد جاء إلى يداعبنا. دخل إليه. هي دي
ما مش عارف أنا أصير.
هي أنا لقيت أصلا هي في تكوين 10/24
تكوين 10.
اللي هي اتقالت عن ربنا إبراهيم.
أوكي 24. عشرة.
يبقى ممكن يكون 24 بس هو
I'll get it for you. I mean, I'm not exactly sure of him.
راجع الخروج ده
ده
فصل كيلو.
موسى وقال حقا قد عرف الأمر. فسمع فرعون هذا الأمر فطلب أن يقتل موسى فهرب موسى من يد فرعون وسكن في الأرض المدين وجلس عند البئر.
Okay. So I mean, so بعد ما كبر and he's لقى اتنين يعني fighting, one is Egyptian, the other one is Hebrew. So he killed the Egyptian and buried him. And so like afterwards, the following day كانوا اتنين fighting Hebrews مع بعض. يعني he intervened وكده قالوا له من جعلك رئيسا وقاضيا علينا، يعني هتعمل فينا زي ما عملت في المصري اليوم اللي قبليه. فخاف طبعا. فلما الفرعون سمع الموضوع فهرب. ارض مديان طبعا دي الارض دي يعني so it crossed over لان المفروض انها في المنطقه بتاعت اوكي. So 16. Right.
Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came into the water and they followed the crowd to water their father's flock. Then the shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and helped them and watered the flock. When they came to their father, he said, "How is it that you have come so soon today?" And they said, "An Egyptian delivered us from the hand of the shepherds, and also drew up water for us and watered the flock." So he said to his daughters, "And where is he? Why is it that you have looked at that calling that you have before?"
Okay. So we see here now. Okay, so he was بعد ما هرب يعني ودخل راح أرض مديان. So priest of Midian, he had 7 daughters. They were like getting water. The shepherds, they you know what يعني hassle them and not allowing them. Moses يعني intervene. وبعد كده لما رجعوا تاني لما أتينا لرعوئيل أبيهم قال ما بالكن أسرعنا في المكان Mhm.
يعني the ones who kept the order were the Egyptians. طبعا all of this is spiritual ان احنا نطلق يعني شعب ربنا وشعب يعني just by coincidence it happened in Egypt and we are Egypt and we are Egypt. بس يعني to think about it critically it's he did a bad thing to kill somebody
Yeah,
else
yeah.
without يعني judge and jury and execution.
I mean, that's the thing with the Bible. I mean, there's nobody that's like perfect. So I mean, across the whole Bible, there's a lot of personalities that they did a lot of things. And يعني he يعني allow طبعا البانشمنت يعني okay يعني he at the same time he like بيديلهم punishment in a different way. بمعنى ايه؟ ان هو مثلا اوكي واحد زي موسى لما تشوف الهيستوري بتاعه ان هو ربنا يعني مشي معاه all that training. So هو كان اوكي شخصيته and with the first 4 years of his life he probably was a violent person. He probably was because he grew up في البalace بتاع the pharaoh. He felt entitled and he can do anything and get away with it and so forth. So that might be true. But in spite of that, okay. So he fled and he was a والposition اللي كان هو فيه فيرعى أغنام في الصحراء, right? So وربنا سابه يعني الفترة دي كلها it was long time. He let him يعني before he invited him, you know, without البيج فيكتوري اللي عمله بعد كده خاف وهرب وخاف من جازبل and so forth. So يعني ربنا is compassionate but at the same time he rebuked and he chastised يعني الذي يحب الله يؤدبه, right? So بيقدمهم بطرق مختلفة. مش لازم ان هو عشان قتل يبقى لازم يموت وحاجات زي كده. ممكن he can train him and like punish him in a different way in order for him to be يعني one of يعني God's people.
They spoke behind.
Yeah.
And then بس على templates Moses ويقولوا كلمتين عليه ويقول لهم you know I speak to him face to face.
Yeah. So it definitely differently the story of Moses and the personality of Moses. I mean, it's a huge thing. I mean, I don't want to like go ahead of like
heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God acknowledged them.
Okay, so so he stayed with the people in the land of Midian, and he gave him his daughter Zipporah. And so after that, people started crying out to God because they were suffering. It doesn't mean that God heard their groaning and remembered. It doesn't mean that, of course, and the ربنا بينسى or حاجة زي كده. It's a lot of terminology. It of course it's like with the human language and the human emotions and stuff like that. So God, of course, doesn't forget. He doesn't regret what he did, and he doesn't harden somebody's heart. He just allow it to. His heart. And for example, the Pharaoh, when it says he hardened his heart was already hard. He already was very. He had a very hard-headed mind and heart. So, but just God allowed him or used him for the story of salvation. Do you have any questions?
I have a question about Moses stuttering.
Hmm?
When he stuttered, he told God that how can people open in front of Pharaoh when he stutters? Was that the first time we hear of his stuttering? We never heard of his stuttering before that.
بيتهدى.
Is it something that could have come after in the 40 days in the wilderness? Or is it something he already had?
Well, it didn't. Let me see here. We're not exactly sure what it means, or whether actually حتى هو is making an excuse ولا لا. لأن ربنا kept after him, kept on one thing after the other. قال له لا hold it. It's gonna change back to us. You put your hand is gonna hand leprous and then put it and then take it out again and we'll so forth. So قال له لست أنا صاحب كلام منذ أمس ولا أول من أمس ولا من حين كلمت عبدك بل أنا ثقيل الفم واللسان. ثقيل slow of speech and slow of tongue. That's what they say here. Whether he doesn't know how to speak in public, or he doesn't he يتلجلج rather than stuttering. It might not be a defect like a speech impediment أو حاجة زي كده. ممكن تكون حاجة.
لأن هو بعد كده اتكلم.
أيوه عادي خالص. So ما فيش حاجة منشن قبل كده إن هو هو اللي بيقول على نفسه إن هو حاجة زي كده. فطبعا ربنا بيقول له مين اللي بقى صنع الإنسان فمن أو يصنع أخرس أو أصم أو بصيرا أما هو أنا الرب. فقال له وبرضه رغم كده برضه ما رضيش يروح. لما ربنا زهق منه قال له اوكي هبعت لك هارون معاك ويتكلم بدالك. بس فعلا بعد كده
هو اتكلم عادي خالص. في اوقات ياما كان هو اللي بيتكلم مع
هارون. whether هو اللي ربنا اداله باور. طبعا ده ممكن يكون هو فعلا شخصيته ان هو is not easy for him to talk. فربنا اكيد اداله power ان هو ان هو to lead الناس and give him power to speak يعني سواء بالنسبة لفارو سواء بالنسبة للناس.
يعني كان ممكن يختار ايرون من الاول، كان ممكن ايرون هو اللي يروح مصر وهو اللي يعمل كل ده، بس ربنا اختار يعني
ربنا بيختار اللي هو يعني اللي هو يعني سواء هل فعلا حاجه زي كده ربنا بيختاره. يمكن عشان كده هل يعني طبعا ديفيد is another example يعني هو the youngest يعني حتى ابوه ما كانش الايام دي كان بيقول في واحد اخر واحد بيرعى وغنم هناك وهكذا. يعني زي ما بولس ما بيقول يعني اختار الله يعني المزدرع وغير الموجود ليخزي بهم الموجود. ربنا بيختار الضعيف واللي هو مش حاسس بقيمته عشان هو يبقى الباور عشان النعمه والقوه تبقى من عند ربنا ما تبقاش ان هو وعشان كده قال لجدعون مثلا اوكي 30,000 لا كتير اقعد يعني قعد ينقصهم لحد ما فضل معاه 300 بس. قالوا عشان لما تغلب ما يكونش يتقال ان هو انت غلبت بزراعك مش بقوتك انت، ده انا اللي ساعدتك. يعني ربنا doesn't give his glory to anybody, so he used the الناس and whoever is humble himself and يعني doesn't feel highly هو دول اللي ربنا بيشتغل معاهم.
Say Moses was very humble. لما بنشوف الموvies على Moses on this farm, we imagine يعني واحد كده very.
It's not Charles the Distant, that's for sure.
بس that he's very humble servant.
Yeah. يعني هو طبعا يعني رغم كل اللي حصل يعني لما ربنا قال له همحي الشعب كله واجيب لك شعب جديد، قال له يعني ان كنت يعني امحو اسمي من الكتاب بتاعك. لكن he was like interceding for them, praying in front of God عشان to وربنا طبعا backed him up so many times يعني سواء لما مريم she spoke about his wife، سواء كورح وداثان when they questioned his authority as a priest was يعني بالنسبة لآرون وموسى والsevere punishment اللي حصل لهم يعني the whole thing along the wilderness.
الصفحة اللي بعد كده آية 24 ولا 25 and God looked upon the children of Israel and God acknowledged بالعربي
وعلم الله مش عارف it's not very clear لكن يعني acknowledge them يعني he acknowledge the suffering بتاعهم طبعا بعد كده هيبين بقى ان هو how he's gonna start the planning بالنسبة للsalvation بالنسبة للشعب الإسرائيلي.
هو ربنا عارف كل حاجة، علم الله دايرة acknowledge them.
فزي ما بيقول يعني remember يعني فتذكر الله ميثاقه مع إبراهيم وإسحاق ويعقوب. يعني هو طبعا يعني مش حاجة كان ناسيها وافتكرها.
هم بيقولوا ان الحضارات اللي زي دي بيسموها ان علم الله زي كده يعني كلمة عادي اللي هو فعلا يبدأ يتصرف يبدأ كلمة عادي ان هو يخرجهم
ان هو البلان ان هو
البلان.
Yeah, that's true.
عارف هيعمل ايه؟
لا مش عارف.
لا هو already الفور نولج بتاعته بس يعني هو ده يعني بداية البلان. زي لما بيقول لك يعني في ملء الزمان أرسل الله ابنه. هو عارف طبعا من قبل ملء الزمان، عارف من الأول خالص الفور نولج بتاعته إن هو this is the time. All right.